Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, 3-disc edition, because you get a whole other disc of music if you pony up only $1 or 2 more, depending on where you get it. And why wouldn't you want a whole other disc of Metallica if it's available to you? Especially if you consider yourself a fan. This has been out for a few months now, and I haven't done a review on it because I wanted to give it a chance to sink in. Metallica is one of those bands that's always been one of my favorite bands. And not necessarily because they are my favorite band, but because they were ever present in my life. You know, like, it was impossible being a rock radio kid in the late 80s, early 90s, especially 1991 when they released their self-titled Black album. It was impossible not to be a Metallica fan. You were. If you were a hard rocker, a metal guy, you were a Metallica fan. That's end of discussion. I've seen them live so many times that it's crazy the amount of money I've given this band, and I think they deserve every penny of it. And they've provided a soundtrack to a great deal of my life, but they're not my favorite band because they're a fantastic band. And that was the first thought that came to my head when I first listened to Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which is the latest album by this band, being Metallica. Now, I wanted to give it some time because Metallica is a band that I always enjoy more when the sun is out and I'm in the car and I'm able to drive and just immerse myself in the music. If I'm out walking the dog, or I'm out doing yard work, or I'm exercising, for some reason Metallica just doesn't do it for me like they once did for a long while now. Their last album, which was back in 2008, holy cow, was Death Magnetic, and that was a fantastic record. I was really impressed with it. I thought that was the record that should have come out after And Justice for All, which isn't to say that I don't like the Black Album, but let's face it, if you're a fan of this band for its entire career, most of us will hold either Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets as being the pinnacle of their careers. But I really liked Death Magnetic. I thought it was definitely an improvement over the album that came before it. And this is another album I think that is a step in the right direction. They're put together a mature, great sounding, fun to listen to, hard rock / heavy metal album. And that's really all you can say about it. If you haven't picked it up because you haven't picked it up because maybe you didn't like Death Magnetic and you wanted to get back to something that you became a fan of them for, which for a lot of people is the Black Album, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. If you became a fan at all during the 90s with the Black Album, Load and Reload, then this album will sit very, very nicely in your collection with the rest of those albums. If you're still waiting for them to return back to Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning, you're going to be disappointed because, let's face it, James doesn't sing that way anymore, and they don't have Cliff in the band to provide his distinctive flavor to the music. But let's not take away from the band as they are right now, and let's not forget how important Jason Newsted was to the band back in the 90s, and how important Danny Trejo, the actor, Trujillo is to the band. That's embarrassing. Danny Trejo? Machete's in Metallica? Yes, Machete is in Metallica. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rob, I'm sorry. So, the current formation of the band is basically still... This is going to bug me, and this is embarrassing. And those of you watching this are going to go, oh my god, he doesn't know the members of the band. I just, again, like I said, they haven't been my favorite band for a while. Robert Trujillo. That's right. Thank you. I knew I got it right the second time. I'm sorry, Robert. Um, this hasn't been my favorite band in a long time. And then they release a new album, and I think, oh my god, Metallica, they're my favorite band. And if that's the relationship you have, this is not money wasted. If you are a hardcore fan and they're your favorite band, you've already got this, and there's no reason for you to be watching this review. If you're watching this review because you're wondering if I can provide any extra insight into the album, whether you should pick it up or not. If you're a casual fan, again, if you're a fan of their 90s output and not really much from their 80s or since the 90s, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this record. And again, I think you should pick up the 3-disc edition rather than, say, the Apple iTunes edition or just the 2-disc, because you get a bonus disc which is full of lots of great music. All of it is pretty much available out there. There's nothing really unreleased here, except for Lords of Summer, which was recorded during these sessions. It just didn't quite fit in with the album proper. But there's lots of stuff on here. It's great. It reminds me, and there's a live set that they did for Record Store Day last year, which is fantastic because it pulls only from Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets. And well, actually, it only pulls from. Oh, yeah. It only pulls from Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. Excuse me. Great disc, and it reminds me how much I loved their early work and still do to this day. So, Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Is it a great record? Yes. Is it a great Metallica record? Yes. Is it going to win Album of the Year in my collection? No. But frankly, if I have to be honest, no Metallica record ever has, and yet they remain one of the most listened to bands in my collection. Go figure. Go buy it and enjoy it and listen to it for yourself, and make sure you get the 3-disc edition, not because I think Metallica needs more of your money, but because for only $1 more or $2 more, or whatever the upcharge is for the extra disc, depending where you pick it up, it's worth it. It is totally worth it to get that extra disc of great, great music. All right, my name's Daryl. I have been your critic today. Don't forget to set some time aside every day to listen to music. Don't forget to go outside of your preferred genre. Look for music in places that you may be uncomfortable looking. There's lots of great music out there, and it doesn't have to all be the stuff that you're used to. There is tons out there to discover. Don't stop listening to music. Don't stop discovering music. Leave your comments below, as I'm sure some of you will, especially after that major mess up over Robert Trujillo's name. Danny Trejo? That's going to be embarrassing for a while. Like, subscribe, dislike if you want. You'll hurt my feelings, but that's what I deserve for having my ego completely stroked by the appreciation and adoration of complete strangers. Tell your friends about this a-hole on the internet who seems to think that he has the right to review music. And we'll see you again in a few days with another episode of Album a Day Online. Thanks so much for watching.